Ellie Sattler brushed a strand of blonde hair back from her face and turned her attentions to the acid baths. She had 6 in a row, at Muller's strengths from 5 to 30%. She had to keep an eye on the stronger solutions because they would eat right through the limestone and begin to erode the bones. And infant dinosaur bones were so fragile. She marveled that they had been preserved at all after 80 million years. She listened idly as Grant returned the phone call from earlier. Miss Levin, this is Alan Grant. What's this about, you have a what? A what? He began to laugh. I doubt that very much, Miss Levin. No, I really don't have time, I'm sorry. Well, I'd like to take a look at it, but I can pretty much guarantee it's a bacillus lizard. But, yeah, you can do that. All right. Send it now. Grant hung up the phone and shook his head. These people. Ellie said, What's that about? Some lizard she's trying to identify, Grant said. She's going to fax me an X-ray. He walked over to the fax and waited as the transmission came through. Incidentally, I've got a new find for you. A good one. Yeah? Grant nodded. Found it just before the kids showed up on South Hill. Horizon 4. Infant velociraptor, jaw and complete dentition. So there's no question about identity. And the site looks undisturbed. We might even have a full skeleton here. Oh, that's fantastic, she said. How young? Young, Grant said. 2, maybe 4 months at the most. And it's definitely a velociraptor? Definitely, Grant said. Maybe our luck has finally turned. Perhaps this velociraptor skeleton did mean their luck had changed. And an infant. Ellie knew that one of Grant's dreams was to study infant rearing behavior in carnivore dinosaurs. She'd already studied the behavior of herbivores. Perhaps this was the first step toward that dream. Well, you must be pretty excited, Ellie said. Grant didn't answer. I said you must be excited, she repeated. My God, Grant said. He was staring at the fax. Ellie looked over Grant's shoulder at the X-ray and breathed out slowly. You think it's an Amazicus? Yeah, Grant said. Or a Triassicus, the skeleton's so light. But it's not a lizard, she said. No, this is not a lizard. No three-toed lizards have walked on this planet for 200 million years. Could this be a fake? I don't know, Grant said, but it's almost impossible to fake an X-ray, and Procompsognathus is an obscure animal. Even people familiar with the dinosaurs have never heard of it. Ellie read the note. Specimen acquired on the beach of Cabo Blanco, July 16th. Apparently, a howler monkey was eating the animal, and this was all that was recovered. Oh, it says the lizard was attacking infants in their cribs? Oh, I doubt that, Grant said. But perhaps Compsognathus was so small and light we assume it must be a scavenger only feeding off dead creatures. And you can tell the size. He measured quickly. It's about 20 centimeters to the hip, which means the full animal would be about a foot tall. About as big as a chicken. Even a child looked pretty fearsome to it. It might bite an infant, though. Ellie frowned at the X-ray. You think this could really be a legitimate rediscovery, she said? Like the coelacanth? Maybe, Grant said. But could it be real? What about the age? Grant nodded. The age is a problem. Most rediscovered animals are rather recent additions to the fossil record, 10 or 20,000 years old. Some were a few million years old, in the case of the coelacanths, 65 million years old. But the specimen they were looking at was much, much older than that. Dinosaurs died out in the Cretaceous period, 65 million years ago. They'd flourished as the dominant life form on the planet in the Jurassic, 190 million years ago, and they'd first appeared in the Triassic, roughly 220 million years ago. It was during the early Triassic period that Procompsognathus had lived, a time so distant that our planet didn't even look the same. Well, Ellie said, we know animals have survived. Crocodiles are basically Triassic animals living in the present. Sharks are Triassic. We know it's happened before. Grant nodded. And the thing is, how else do we explain it? It's either a fake, which I doubt, or else it is a legitimate rediscovery. I don't see what else it could be.